Thank you for tuning in to RDR Talking Numbers. Got Ron, Dave, Ryan. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
What's up with it?
Listen, man, we got some crazy conversation for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed the introductory show, the pilot, so to speak. We're back at you today, and we're going to be talking numbers.
Yeah.
Ron, what we got for him today?
What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the creme de la creme guards. Point guard, two guard. We're going to talk about a list that we created last year at the end of the season, and we're going to talk about if anything changed, if some players got bumped out, if some got added. We're going to talk about that today.
And if any of the players are listening, I'm going to throw this disclaimer out there. Nothing's personal.
Nothing's personal.
We just talking numbers, that's all.
It's just some guys out here that might be better than you. That's all. From how we see it.
It's just our perspective, that's all.
That's all.
That's all it is. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the point guards. Now, first of all, before we begin this, Ryan made the statement of the week last week. Steph Curry, best guard of all time. And we'll discuss that. But with that being said, he's obviously got to be on this list. Am I right?
Steph Curry is number one on the list. I was not a fan of Steph Curry 2 years ago. This guy right here, Ryan, just kept talking him up and talking him up and talk. And you got to watch the guy play, and he's just unbelievable. The numbers don't lie. He's a winner. All NBAs. He's a trendsetter. He got everybody shooting 3 feet from behind the three-point line. He's got everybody shooting 200-300 threes a year. That was unheard of. Steph Curry, I'm a big Zeke guy. I'm a big Magic guy.
Mm-hmm. That's our era. That's our era. That's how we grew up.
I'm taking Steph over Zeke. And if Steph wins another championship, I'm taking Steph over Magic Johnson.
So in this situation, 4 is greater than 3. Or excuse me, 4 is greater than 5.
Well, yes, and the numbers will be better. Steph Curry's numbers are just better. And it's always been the case of the chicken or the egg with Magic Johnson. Did he make the players or did the players make him? He fell into a perfect situation.
Perfect situation.
Yes, he did.
As a rookie, playing with the league's most valuable player.
Mm-hmm.
He played
Shout out to the cap.
He played with champions. In Jamal Wilkes.
Cornbread.
He played with
Cornbread.
at the time.
Oh, that was his nickname too? I know
When he was in the
Cornbread
movie.
with
When he was in the
okay.
movie.
Said Maxwell. Okay.
At the time, Jim Jones was the best Cavalier ever. Norm Nixon, very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Point guard, combo guard.
Yep.
17, 18 a game consistently. He just fell into the perfect spot.
Married to the beautiful Debbie Allen.
But he made it. He transcended that team. And I'm not taking nothing away from Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson does not have the scoring ability of Steph Curry, and I can't take Magic Johnson in any era over Steph Curry. I'm sorry.
And you bring up an interesting point there. We haven't even gotten into the conversation yet, but I love it. Era plays such a big role because you got different types of basketball being played at different times, whether it's the level of contact, whether it's the introduction of the let it fly 3-point era that we're in today. Mm-hmm. I would say that a lot of mediocre teams of today would give the upper echelon teams of yesterday a run for their money, simply because of the way they play.
Yep.
We don't know that the 72-win Chicago Bulls or the 69-13 Los Angeles Lakers or the 86 Celtics, those are some of the best teams of all time. Mm-hmm. And it's not arguable. It is what it is.
What it is.
It's a question of who's the best.
Right.
But we don't even know if those guys can shoot the ball proficiently to the level
enough to compete with these teams now.
Because
right.
The Denver Nuggets shot they were putting up 120 points, but it wasn't on threes like this.
Yeah.
I mean, those teams These teams today make as many threes in a month as teams made in a year.
In the whole season.
It's ridiculous.
The difference, the key to yesteryear versus today is front court. You had a dominant center or power forward, and you had
was the key to winning.
You had a manageable to upper echelon, especially in the '80s, small forward, shooting forward. That's where the basis of your offense worked through. In today's game, like you said, you have to hit threes. And I don't know that those guys in the 80s, in the 70s, they had shooting range, but it was maybe 1, 2 guys on the roster that can shoot from distance.
Right.
I don't know if enough twos can beat a handful of threes. That's
Agreed.
just my
And that's the we're in this age of analytics. That's absolutely the case. And it hurts my heart to agree with you in the respect of taking Steph Curry over Magic, because Magic was my guy. I grew up Showtime. Anybody that's ever played with me knows that there's a Magic Johnson pass in the game somewhere coming from me. That's just Magic is my guy.
Right.
He was the guy with which all point guards were measured against. However, what I've seen and, my dislike for Steph Curry was simply based on the fact of where he played and the rivalry with my Cleveland Cavaliers. That's where the dislike came from. The respect was always there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a phenomenal player. He shoots the ball very, very well. He's very proficient in handling the ball. He finishes in the lane. He's what do we call it, a 50-40-90 guy.
50-40-90.
That's an elite club.
Elite.
And he plays so well without the basketball. He's so dangerous without the ball in his hands. You have to guard him like he has the ball. You can't turn your head. You can't help.
You can't.
That's how dangerous he is. Like, bro, if you help, it's a wrap for you. You might as well, like my coach used to say, come sit by me.
In the past, the knock on Steph was his softness. And Ron brought up a point to me last year. He said, Steph's daddy played in the league. And he wasn't soft. And Steph is 10 times better than his daddy. And his daddy wasn't chopped liver.
Exactly.
So
his dad, not to cut you off, but his father was the leading scorer off the bench in NBA history until this year. Until Lou Williams got that. So when people think that
Pedigree.
Dale
It means
Curry
something.
was this and that, no, he
means
held
something.
records to be that. Kemba Walker just broke Dale Curry's 3 points made. Dale Curry wasn't no chump.
And to be honest with you, we were talking about era and how guys fit in.
Oh, this would have
Dale
been his
Curry
era.
was before his time.
This would have been his era. If
There are certain players
yes.
that you look back and say, well, he was a marginal player. He was number 6, number 7, number 8 off the bench. That was based off the way they played.
Right.
He wasn't an overpowering, two guard, and he look at his man and say, boom, I got one. Let me catch it on the block and see what I can do.
Right.
No. But he was a sharp shooter. Dale Ellis is another guy that comes to mind.
Right.
The basketball, and this is one thing that I feel people miss. Your success is based on a number of things. One of them being how well your skill set and your mindset translate into the era that you play in, but also translates to the team.
The team.
Because you brought up a good point. Both Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, two guys that I have the utmost respect for and whose greatness is well known throughout the world. Whether you're a Laker fan, a Celtic fan, Sixers fan, Houston Rockets fan, you have to respect Bird and Magic and what they did for the game, the league, and their respective teams and cities.
Right.
But they both fell into situations where, had Magic gone to his hometown Detroit Pistons, is he the Magic Johnson that we know and love? We'll never know.
We'll never know that. Right.
Same thing with Larry Bird. Had he gone to the Indiana Pacers, would he be because they both fell into championship caliber situations that fit their games perfectly. It's like, sometimes a trade, a free agent signing brings life to a guy. It's like, that guy was terrible before. No, maybe he was just in a situation that he couldn't thrive in.
Exactly.
And that's one thing you got to look at. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the situation too.
all right, so getting back to the list that we comprised for last season,
Obviously, Steph was there.
In no particular order. Crème de la crème is classified as the top third of the guards, meaning the top 10. I got Steph, Dame, Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, Russell Westbrook, Michael Conley Jr., Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, D'Angelo Russell, and Kyle Lowry.
That's an interesting list.
Those are the list of last year.
That's
Correct.
last year.
And I'm going to say that there's definitely some asterisks there. Simply because of, again, situation, injury and things like that.
Okay.
A guy like John Wall
Yes.
probably would be there.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
it's
Yeah.
you know, there's some guys there that, you know, they probably would fall off and other guys would be
Right.
introduced. But again, it's based on situation,
Yes.
circumstance,
Yeah.
injury, and such. We're going to come back and revisit this list and look at this year's predictions right after this break. I'm going to go live on this one. You let me know when you're ready, and we'll roll.
Whenever you go live on it, just like I said, I'm ready.